And then what I always do is I always move them over to the following year, keep that list.
No, I understand, that's what I'm trying to get at.
So I think.
And I believe it's, I'd have to double check my price, but I think it's like $72 a ton for my salt. I order 25 tons. I've got to take at least 80% of it. And I can get up to 125%.
I'll make a motion, we table it till the November meeting.
Yeah, 'cause we might be able to find somebody to take that scout tree.
And so we'll make a decision in November.
Yeah.
If you could check and just give us a, an order, basically,
Okay,
that'll help us too.
okay.
I appreciate it.
I was reading. Yes. I wanted to hear what Pete had to say too.
I don't think you had anything to say.
Yeah, well, he did about the EDC and the
Oh.
working agreement.
Rail Commission?
Yeah.
Well, he said he wasn't, he told me he wasn't gonna say anything if nothing was brought up, so.
I do have one other thing, and I don't know what it'd come out of. That lift's kind of took off.
Did you got it moved, I saw.
No, it's still the same spot.
Oh, the car got in there without it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought about maybe getting hold of Delphi Body and seeing if they, I don't know whether they have a service tech that come out and look at that or not. I think somebody said they thought they would work on that. We're lucky that Dan come in the building and it got stopped.
Yeah.
The motor just kept running, but he got the hydraulics to stop, but the motor just kept wanting to cycle, so. I'm guessing it's something in electrical, like one of the switches or something, but.
I told him to run through the door.
Yeah, it's,
In the front office.
Yeah. That'd been even worse. Woo.
So do you want Jerry to contact Delphi Body?
Yeah, go ahead and call them and see if they got somebody to come out. Who knows? I mean, they might have, if they don't, maybe they know somebody that would come get them.
Yeah,
Work on it.
I think they'd work on it right there, I think.
Right, well, they might have to.
Okay, Brent, babe.
What?
Do we have a second to bring Delphi Body over?
Second.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's left.
Yours?
Okay, was
Your
sure where we
turn.
were. Okay.
Whole thing.
The 2018 budget is set for adoption tonight, and I wanted to explain a little bit of the budget to the ratepayers. The budget can be found online at the Department of Local Government webpage through the Gateway program. The budget is also posted outside the town office, in the post office, and at the library. The budget is the town's primary tool in planning, tracking, and controlling spending, and the purpose of establishing a budget is to ensure that spending follows a plan, supports the goal of the council, stays within the limits, and does not exceed available funds. In its simplest form, the budget is a list of expenses, which is the Form 1, which you guys have in your budget packet. That just lists out how we will be spending, allocating the funds. Form 2 is the anticipated revenue, and Form 4B calculates the proposed property tax rate. The budget sets the tax rate for the town. Since the general fund is the largest factor in spending and tax revenue, that's what I'm going to focus a couple minutes on. The advertised general rate for the 2018 budget, or the 2018 budget, is $250,536 with a rate of $1.79. The Coombe Sewer and Coombe Cap Development also get some property taxes, but that's a little less than a total of 6 cents for those two. In reality, the general fund spending will need to be reduced and the tax rate decreased when the DIGL sends us the 1782 notice, which sets the limits. An email will be sent to the council, or was sent to you guys earlier, explaining where I thought the cuts should be made and reductions made. Did you have any questions on that email? Okay. Rainy Day and Coombe Sewer are set higher than normal because of the match we need for the stormwater grant, if we get that. And the street improvement, we're going to need $47,000 as our match for the street grant. That money will come from MVH, Local Roads and Streets, Edit, General, and Coombe Cap Development. The total for this year's budget was $493,340 with a tax rate of $1.85. This year's budget is set higher than normal, but funds are being planned to be spent for major improvements for the town. Due to conservative spending in prior years, money is available to use as a match for the grants without really affecting the budget. So we have the 2018 budget that is due for adoption. Did you guys have any questions on the budget?
No, not really.
So we need a motion
You
to
need a
adopt
motion to
it.
Yes.
approve it? I'll
Yes.
make a motion to approve it.
Okay.
Next ordinance.
Here's the next ordinance.
Okay, this ordinance is signed a little bit differently. You each have a spot to sign. You need to mark the box that says I and sign.
I sign.
Yep.
What is this ordinance doing?
This sets the budget for 2018. This is the budget ordinance. It will be sent in through Gateway tomorrow, or the final form.
And our gateway passwords and everything, we set ourselves to get on there and look at anything.
You can go on without a password.
Okay.
You can structure reports however you'd like to. Okay, and then bring it down here at the bottom, in that box. Yes, it's very user-friendly. You can go right on in there and take a look at things. You can look at anybody. It's not just Camden, you look at anybody. You tell them if you want to look at Camden. Okay. I also have the salary ordinance, which was sent the way that we had discussed. Yep, this is the salary ordinance. I sent that to you guys earlier. Did you have any questions on the salary ordinance? Are you prepared to sign it tonight, or do you want to wait?
You're going prepared.
I feel pretty confident.
Need a motion?
Yes, I do.
No, I'll make a motion.
Oh, thank you.
One second.
It's on Q4. Feel like I should know that.
That's the stop sign ordinance.
You can get rid of them.
Okay.
Sweet.
There had been discussion at the last meeting on repealing and replacing ordinance 92-4 with ordinance number 2017-12, and this set the fine of $25 for those that fail to stop at stop signs here in Camden.
It'd be paid to the town of Camden.
Yes.
And there were two, I know, violations of that already.
Which are not collectible because we don't have an ordinance in place.
This will put this in place.
Right, but I'm just saying, it's, I mean, this will start bringing money, that's all,
Yeah.
that's all right.
This has to be advertised, so it doesn't go into effect until 30 days after
That's still
advertised.
good, though. I like that.
Okay, any questions?
Do you need a motion?
I do.
That's fine. I'll make another motion, yes, I'll approve that.
One second.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
We have computer programs through Keystone for billing fund, which is the new one we just put on, payroll and assets, and we have a maintenance agreement with them. So I just need approval on the maintenance agreement. The cost for maintenance on billing is $2,000, fund is $1,570, same for payroll, and assets is $550, for a total of $5,690 for the year maintenance.
What's that get us? Just updates or?
Updates, help desk,
$5,000 for maintenance? Isn't that
4
what-
programs.
Wasn't that about the cost of the program?
That was one program.
It's a scam, I'm telling you.
It's a scam. Let's go back to paper.
I make a motion, we pass the maintenance agreement.
Second it.
And Andy, I just need you, and I'll fill out the rest of it, but if you would sign there and there.
I don't like to sign it and then you fill it out. You need me to print my name?
No, I'll type it all in. Okay. We have cameras outside. Part of them are aimed at the dumpsters. If people put trash in the dumpsters, so what? We don't have an ordinance in file that says they'd have any punishment.
Do we need one?
Hmm?
Do we need one? It says right on there, no dumping.
Yeah, but so what if they do?
Do we got a fine?
They're dumping.
I
Go
know
by the,
that.
go by the county, go by the state ordinance. You're dumping, you're illegally dumping. Take it out of there and throw it back in their yard.
Well, that's, well, now with the cameras, we can find out who's doing it,
Yes.
number one.
I done that once.
And, well, I was thinking about the dumpsters too. Do they have to sit right there?
I think they do. Where are you thinking? Because that's
We
where
were
I
just,
think
I
it's
was just
convenient.
thinking, right, maybe back by the door, back behind the building where it's out of sight and it's not blocking the alleyway. We put stone back there maybe by the generator, and there's a camera back there too.
But you can see, them kind of dumpsters are right there right now. You can see them both directions when the camera, you know.
Right, yeah. I was just
You can see
thinking
them as far
about
as that
blocking
goes.
an alleyway. It just don't look the best right out inside the building, but
I don't know if the trash truck could get down the alley,
That's
to
what
get
I wondered.
cocked around.
It
It
It's
gets
kind
pulled
of-
back down in. Yeah, it's be a bear in the
I
window.
just wondered, I was just thinking out loud, but I don't know, maybe with the cameras, we can find out who's dumping the stuff and talk to them and see if.
Well, my question is, are we being charged for these dumpsters, or are they part of the
The
contract?
con of the contract.
So if we have 2 large dumpsters there, and we don't allow any dumping into it, why do we have 2 large dumpsters there?
I don't think it's a fact that we don't allow dumping. We ask that people ask first, because if there's events at the community building and the dumpster's full of trash, then it's not serving its purpose.
I understand that part, I guess, but,
Please just
I think
ask.
out of town, I think one thing I'm concerned with is out of town dumping. People that live outside the municipality coming in and dumping their stuff or their construction waste in there and not even paying taxes
Yes.
or paying utilities in the town of Camden. But if you're a taxpayer in the town of Camden, maybe we need to communicate it, they need to ask permission, but it should be utilized.
Yeah, I always tell them, don't fill it up Friday night or Saturday something. Wait till Wednesday evening. If you got something you don't really want to set out that you know you can throw away, bring it up here Wednesday evening. Put it in here. That way, we've still got access to for our trash
Yeah.
through the rest of the week.
Now, one of them's locked up, isn't it?
Yeah.
So whatever's in there,
Nothing.
just the office? Why are we locking it up if there's nothing in there?
Because we found that when it wasn't, when it's unlocked, it's filled with trash.
And Pat'd go out to throw her trash from the office in and it'd be over, both of them would be overfull.
So you're saying both dumpsters would be so full we couldn't put our trash in?
Yes.
I mean, how much, we don't generate much trash, do we, in the office? I mean,
No, and you know, if you want the thing unlocked, we'll unlock it.
well, no, I'm just thinking that this is people pay for utilities and taxes. And I think we need
I don't-
people of Camden, I don't have a problem with them utilizing it.
And I don't think we've ever had somebody from Camden come in and we say, oh no, don't put your trash out there.
No,
But
I'm not
it's a
saying that.
courtesy,
I
checkers.
didn't know you were supposed to ask.
Yeah.
Come and go in and say, hey, can you mind if we dump something in there? And is the park one, is it on us too?
Yeah.
In the cemetery?
Yeah.
they're all part of our
They're all
contract.
part.
I'll bet that cemetery one's not full twice a
The
year.
thing is
It's never,
that if
Right.
you have something up here, those others are gonna be starting to be filled out because they'll just go someplace else.
Well, yeah, or they're gonna dump it alongside the road, or they're gonna put it out
Because
on
I-
the curb and.
I took mine down and dumped, one time I had something, or somebody asked me, said, hey Andy, I got some trash, but the dumpster up here's full, and I said, well, take it down to the cemetery. So they did. Well, the dumpster's always empty unless it's flour cleaned up. So when Ron seen there was trash in it, he come and asked me, did you tell so-and-so? And I said, yes, I did. And he said, well, I don't much appreciate that. And I said, well, then do you wanna pay for the dumpster? I said, that's Camden's dumpster, that ain't the cemetery's dumpster, so do you, and he decided that it'd be okay if I sent somebody down there, so.
But as far as finding somebody, I mean, this is almost like a double-edged sword, because we're charging them for trash, the citizens of Camden.
Well, I
This
don't,
is a benefit of the
Yeah.
contract. So, I mean, I'm all for if someone's coming from out of town and misusing it.
that's,
I'm also if they're bringing in large amounts, I mean,
well, and also, it'd be nice if we had an ordinance that said if you put anything in there, you can either come get it out, because people's drop TVs off.
well, that's why we have the cameras too. You
Yeah,
can see
and
that.
that's what I'm getting
Right,
at.
now
But
we
what
can-
I'm getting at is, we don't have no teeth to where if somebody sets a camera out there, we don't have anything that says you can't set a TV out there.
Well, we have
More or
Marshall.
less, well.
And they don't want that, but
No,
see, you can take them right out there at the
Yeah,
transfer. I think we
So
took
free.
10 or 12 of them out there
yeah.
The
last
text
year.
are free.
What do you recommend, Dan? As an
Well,
ordinance?
I'll do whatever, I've made notes here, and if you all want me to prepare something, my question is, are you gonna have a fine against it, and how are you gonna know if I come over and dump something? Unless somebody just
We have
sees me,
cameras.
and how's it gonna be enforced?
We have cameras up now.
Okay,
We can see you.
okay,
And your license plates.
and is there gonna be a fine, if I come over and dump something, am I gonna be fined, and how much?
That's what maybe.
Well,
Maybe not you, you're our attorney.
Yeah, we might let you slide.
Hey, listen, every Thursday, I'm not, I mean, every Thursday, I might come over.
Right, I get it. I don't know.
My question is, if you would come over and dump there, would it be better if we put up better signage and just let
I
them
think
know?
we'd have to put a sign on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have
Whatever
to
you all
sign.
tell me to do is what I'm gonna do.
Should we start with a sign?
Ordinance violation, dumping in this dumpster's ordinance
Without dump-
violation.
Dumping without permission is a violation of ordinance,
That's
town ordinance, and we can come up with a number later. Should we start there and see if we get, because have we had a whole lot of problem lately with it? I mean, not, or is it something we can start policing?
Yeah, but what I'm getting at, how I look at it is, if we're gonna have Ann type up or do something that says, you know, ordinance 24, whatever,
No
says
garbage,
no
no
dumping
garbage.
trash.
No
But then
garbage.
if somebody does dump the trash, what do we do? There ain't a fine, there ain't nothing, do we? You know?
There's no repercussions.
Yeah,
but
there's no repercussion.
That's why I think it's gonna take a signage and some type of ordinance to give us
Okay.
teeth.
I'll draft something and send it to everybody, let you all look at it.
But I think if we wanna make sure that the more education we can give the people that are paying, the ratepayers,
Mm-hmm.
and let them know that it is part of the rate.
Do you, in the fine part, do you want, I don't know if Ann can write us something and we can decide to fine later, but rather than bump it to the next month, do we want it to read, you can either come remove it, or,
Well, I think that's where the marshal,
Or
we see
money.
it is. We send the marshal up there and go, look, you've got two options. You can come get it, or, because that's not our,
but we gotta have an ordinance that says that.
well,
We
an
can-
officer can say that. I don't necessarily think an ordinance has to say you.
Well, I think that's where your signage comes in. If you say
Right, you see
dumpsters
sign.
are for the citizens of Camden only type thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then that, or you
Please
can,
ask for permission to dump, something like that.
I don't know what there's so many different scenarios.
Yeah.
You could say why they
Let me
have.
kind
do
of
this
fiddle
all
with
night.
it and send it to you all, and then you can.
You might put out on that list, or, I don't know, I've never got on there, but put out there, just as other towns or municipalities have an ordinance for dumpsters in town.
I think the dumpster people more or less have the fine, cause all the dumpsters say if you dump in here illegally, it's a $500 fine.
How they
But
gonna get
this-
that if you got your
that's
name
what I
on
mean.
an envelope there or
Does
something?
Right,
Clinton County,
Our dumpsters do not.
no, they don't?
They used to.
It's usually just a deterrent.
Waste management
Right.
used to say, okay. Okay, Ann's looking into that.
some time ago, we asked about, or we discussed an ordinance on illegally turning the water on. Do you want to move forward on that, or do you want to think about it?
We've had violations, I take it?
Yeah,
Two.
I think that's a good thing to do. I mean, that, it doesn't get any more illegal than taking the cap off and reaching down with the wrench.
It's no different than stealing cable or stealing anything.
It's, yeah, I mean, I think we definitely need an ordinance for that, and that's stealing of the nth degree. It should be stealing, not just an ordinance. I
You know,
mean,
it's like electric, stealing
Yes,
electric
but-
or cable or anything.
So
Try to
we
take
need
it to
to-
the prosecutor.
Sure, no, I'm just saying, we definitely need an ordinance for this. This is blatant stealing, so we definitely need an ordinance for illegal.
County,
Flora has an.
It's probably happened maybe a half a dozen times in the last 37 years.
The exact wording.
That you know.
I think
Yeah.
probably Santa.
You know, that we actually caught them and we had to take the meter out.
Okay, the next thing I have is upgrade the DSL to better serve the new security system. There was some talk on that, but what was the final decision? Anything?
Well, we need to upgrade it.
what speed do we have now? I don't know what speed they have.
One,
Meg.
I don't remember.
I
It was
thought it was a 3.
3. It's
I'm not
pretty
sure.
bad.
They wanted to go to 50.
Doesn't have to be 50. Chris said it does not have to be 50. It
So I
was,
don't know what the difference in rates are, what they.
I
well,
sent you guys something, didn't
I don't know if you sent it or showed it to me. I was in the office when they sent it to you. I don't,
I? Okay, I'm not sure.
it needs upgraded. I mean, we need to get it upgraded. But it didn't have to go to the top end. Chris said 25 would be perfect.
Joe just put in, I got 50 at my house, he had to put in another line, it takes 2 lines to run 50.
Okay,
So if you got a single line coming in, you can still get 25, and it shouldn't be that big a deal.
Right, and that's where we had problems when Pat called when I was in there that day. They said they wouldn't do that for a municipal, what was the word, for a
government.
government, for a building. They'd only do that for residential.
So you got a phone line running in there, so you could get 25, and he can bump it up.
Right.
That's just at their server bumping you guys up, so.
You got 2 lines coming in, don't you? I mean, as far as that goes, but one of them's dedicated, it's hooked to the back.
We'll talk to Joe, and, I mean, he can get us bumped up.
Are you on TDS now? I didn't even know that, I mean, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've always been.
Okay, I assumed you was, but I wasn't sure.
Okay, so you're gonna talk to Joe?
I'll talk to Joe about, and we'll get it set up, and we'll work through you about getting, cause I told him I read him what they had said to you about unable to get 25, and he said he called down there, and they said, you can do it. He goes, I have done it 5 times this month. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. So, they didn't understand what could be done, so we'll reach out to him and we'll go from there.
Yearly, we have been sending a letter of support to the Deer Creek, Sugar Creek watershed. They use the letters of support to help them get a grant. It's a generic letter that we just put on our letterhead, and it basically, the one thing that would probably be of interest to you guys is there's an estimated value of in-kind commitment of approximately $2,000. It's in-kind, it's not cash. So like writing this letter, promoting their projects on our website, something like that. But it's not cash, and it's just a standard letter that says we support and encourage their activities.
Pat, is this something you've been doing every year? I don't think I would.
No, I do. This
No,
letter,
okay.
yeah, I do the
All right,
letter.
Okay.
Where is this actual watershed? I mean, is it the Deer Creek that runs through?
Yes, it's
Jackson
Deer Creek and
Township.
Sugar Creek both.
I don't even know where Sugar Creek's at.
Sugar Creek's the first one as you cross the bridge. It'd be the first bridge on the Heartland. Once you go into Sugar Creek's that one, the one that flows across.
Well, evidently, we are in their watershed, wherever it is.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we send the letter
Mm-hmm.
in support.
I'll second that.
Okay, and then Andy, when it's done, I'll get you a signature. And I did ask about continuing mowing at 213 East Washington. You guys still want that done for a little bit longer?
What's our options? I mean, it grows
Uh-uh.
up.
That's like I told Pat said, well, there's another month, and I said, well,
Oh,
if
you
we-
mean for this season, is
Yeah.
what you're talking about?
but I told her if we shut it off now, and it's got a month to go, and then at the end, of the month, it'll look like that all winter, so it's only $35 a
I
ton.
make a motion, we keep mowing, I don't wanna see the whole winter look like that.
I saw that check in there, we paid him around $280, so
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, so far now, yeah.
I don't know how fair that was, what, 8 mowings?
Yes, and that's actually, you're looking at last month's docket when you saw that.
Is
This
that the
month we
one that's
have
been
another one.
foreclosed?
I think so, she says it's still in
It's-
somebody's.
Is that the one
I
that's been
think it's
foreclosed?
still, yeah, I think so, and the
I
owner's
think
name.
I've probably written letters to them, I
Yeah.
Oh,
to the bank or
Agent,
whatever.
yeah.
Probably 20 people since.
Well, we told them that we're gonna do a lien,
Oh, yeah.
if they don't do it, so
Yeah.
just do it and put one on.
Okay.
Can you look to see how much we put on it in the past years? Or- I'm just curious if it's up in thousands or.
I don't know.
I'll get with you.
What bothers me on this is that we do this, and if we don't get a lien on it, and they transfer it to another holding company or another bank, then we lose
Right.
out.
We keep talking about no teeth, but
That's what I asked Pat, is there any way you can put like a lien on and just say, we got a lien, we want
continuous.
a $500 lien, but she said we got.
Start over again.
Well, the McCarty property next to me
Yeah.
is in bad shape. They mow the backyard, the neighbors do.
And that just changed ownership too.
Yeah, and that's why we lost, because if we didn't have a filing on it, then we lose that mowing money we've paid.
We're just
They
donating.
have to be notified, and if they change,
Dang, we're nice.
we're not able to give them notification when we're doing the work. When it starts all over, it's a new guy.
I know, and it just really puts a strain on these small towns.
Okay, the last thing I had was, we evidently talked after Christmas last year about accepting a donation of wreaths from Delphi, and they'd like those picked up.
Okay.
For the city.
Last year, the Delphi was giving away wreaths, and we accepted to take them. And they want us to pick them up within 10 to 15 days. Jerry needs to go do that.
What is it?
Go get the wreaths
So
at
get some
Delphi.
wreaths at Delphi.
What kind of wreath?
Round ones.
Christmas, I guess.
Round ones?
They
Okay.
say Christmas.
I have a phone number I'll call. and see
Who
what-
is the?
Put them
Never
on your,
mind.
put 'em on your Christmas cards.
They were giving them
Come up with
away.
that idea.
They were
Delphi was
giving
giving away, we said we'd take
Okay.
it, so you're gonna go pick them up.
How many is there, do you know?
10 to 15.
No, that's how many days
Big?
they want.
Oh, that's right,
before we
sorry.
can get 'em. We don't know how big they are, though.
Okay. Well,
Pat'll get with you.
I can check tomorrow if I think about it. I mean, we're gonna be going through there.
Okay, good.
Okay, back to utility adjustment request, disputed ordinance violations, any public comments? Public project bids, took care of that, ordinance and resolutions. Okay, we're down to council comments. We already, that's old business, okay. Estimates for sidewalk
Oh, you need to
replacement.
do your comments, vote on executive
Oh,
session.
comments, vote on executive session. Okay, we need to, what? Vote on what we decided?
You didn't make a decision, you discussed.
Yeah, we discussed, okay, so what are we gonna decide to do with what we talked about at the executive session?
I make a motion that we suspend the town marshal until there's resolution on the pending investigation.
Second.
Will that be with or without pay?
Without pay.
Okay, so suspend town marshal until,
Technically, you're
resolution.
putting him on administrative leave.
Yes, but same
You
words,
know,
yeah.
whatever. That's what the statute calls
Yeah.
it, administrative leave.
Okay. Got that?
no, I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'll work that out.
Have we heard any more on the Fried sidewalk? The one in front of Parsonage?
Oh, yeah, I talked to ABC Concrete, I talked to the lady that lives at the house. She said, he told me that he would be there sometime this week. And I told her today at the store, I seen her and I said, hey, I'm sorry about your sidewalk, but He told me he was gonna get it in this week, and she said, well, he told us last Thursday he was gonna pour it. He told me this week sometime, and it's been raining and everything, so she said, I understand that it's been raining, so it probably pushed you back, so that's, so sometime this
That's what-
week, or that's
Yeah,
what.
'cause I've talked to him also.
Did we ever hear back from the state? It was supposed to be here the week after.
No, he wasn't supposed to be there. They told me it'd be at least 3 weeks before the state got here. I called him yesterday. Me and Jerry was up to the store, and I called the state guy. I had him on speaker, Jerry heard him. He said, Andy, we've got this to do, we got that to do, we got that to do, and it's getting bad weather, so your project can wait until it's a little colder, so you're on the list, but, you know, it might be, you know, a couple. And I got the guy's phone number if you wanna call him, but his name's Jerry Slusher, and he's like one of the main guys from the Logan Sport thing, and he told me you put me in contact, or you contact me with anything, and I told him, he said, I'll get you as soon as we can, so. But he explained to me that he's gotta make a purchase order, they gotta go get it was a long, detailed message, so. That's where we're at on that. So, I've called the port, I've asked them, they said Logan Sport's handling it, so that's where we're at.
When did we start that project? It's been 4 or 5 months probably.
No.
It is in June.
June, July, August,
When did we
September.
cut the trees down?
That's
Today?
5 months.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't have that one on, I don't have them on that.
It was in June, it's 5 months.
I'm sure it was in June.
There you go. But he asked Snave, he said, hey, do you want me to put this sidewalk in? I got a hole here. And
Yeah.
Snave told him,
Fix
let
the
me
pad,
fix
I
the
fixed
hole.
Yeah, or fix
So,
the tile.
Snave fixed the hole, so that throwed us back.
But it's,
Thanks, Sherry.
you know, we're trying to really, we could have put the sidewalk in
Yeah.
months ago, but when we was up where I could see an issue where the water runs off the road, goes down next to that wall between the house, right there, next in front of their house, runs off the sidewalk over to the front of their house, and from the highway, and the water gets down there in the wintertime, and it's pushing that wall out. So what it's doing is freezing, and they're gonna have a problem. They need something there besides just, I mean, I was just, when we started this, I was just trying to help. So I seen a potential problem there, I was trying to solve before it got any worse, but.
And I talked to the guy that's doing the concrete, and he said, Andy, I still don't feel good about putting this in because I've gotta do it like this. I mean, it's at the grade, it's like this. And he said, all the water's going that way. And he said, you know, you've already got a problem with that.
Why did we tear that side out?
Because when he come down through, we allowed him so many square feet. And then when he got to the driveway, it was good, so he just went on the other side.
He seen there was a
of the
bad
driveway.
spot there, it was, had a big dip in it,
So he just.
and when they took it up, that's when they found that's right where that suck hole was.
Yeah,
But
right.
I think probably what caused that was, they told me they took a tree out there, lifted that sidewalk up a few years ago, is what the person told me, pulled the roots out from underneath it and laid that slab back down. And I think that's probably what caused that tile crack. Of course, we fixed the tile, and then of course, in the meantime, we seen there was an issue with the way the water was running off of the road and over there, causing that wall to be pushed out. So I guess we were, you know, trying to be neighborly, I guess, and keep them from having an issue later on. I mean, we could have just put the sidewalk in and not said anything, and then, you know, but that's not really the way you need to do things. But we can't seem to get the state highway to work with us.
Yeah, we get it.
Okay, estimate to paint the community building floor. Got them, right? Okay, Caldwell Construction, paint proposal, services provided are available, or area approximately 4,000 square feet, patch holes, paint the floor, Materials will be heavy, high traffic and oil-based paint. Estimate $6,500. Estimate includes all materials and labors. This estimate is good for 30 days. Work is guaranteed for 1 year.
The other one's epoxy. He said, that one's crazy expensive. He said you gotta grind the floor down, strip it, acid wash it, etch the concrete.
Okay, and the original one did have with wash the floor and use TSP, trisodium phosphate on the floor.
That's acid
The floor.
wash.
Mm-hmm.
That was Smith.
Yeah.
What's he at, 6,800?
68.
That's the paint.
What kind of paint, what kind of paints?
I think he said epoxy.
I think he did too.
It's a, is that pronounced al?
With
Alcoy?
floor paint, it doesn't smell epoxy.
It didn't say epoxy. But he said the paint had really went up in price. Did
Oh,
he?
yeah.
What they told us in that email.
Said it went from the last time he did it to like $17 to $40.
Yeah. Well, I think we can say we don't want to epoxy the floor.
No,
That's crazy. I would say we need to paint it. Fill the holes. I don't know if we want to do it this year or when, but
no, Dave's email too said that they have to have the ventilation doors open and everything when they do that, so he the second email he'd sent was mentioning that, you know, he's running out of time to keep everything open and
right. And we still have some time, so it's just a matter of where would the money come from for that?
Buildings, line item.
We have money to do it. So now we have money to do it, so now do we want to do it?
right. I mean, I think it'd look nice.
I do too.
The way the building's being used right now, it would probably have to be done after the first of the year.
Which you wouldn't have ventilation yet, wait till
Yeah,
spring.
you'd have to do that. I mean, can't do it in fully because it'd be too cold to paint then.
So what we're doing is tabling building, painting the building floor because this bid's good for 30 days.
What's
Dave,
the building being used for now that you can't?
You got the veterans program, you got the Christmas bazaar, you got the Halloween party,
It's
Yeah, we've
because
got a
of
wedding
upcoming event.
reception.
wedding receptions.
So
And
it's
then-
because of upcoming, gotcha, okay.
And then in December, we'll have the Christmas baskets.
So
When's the, is there a wedding reception coming up?
End of the month,
Huh?
end
I make a motion.
I gotta get that looked out of there.
No,
Is that-
November.
Huh?
of November.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
What are we doing?
Table till
Tables in the
spring. Okay, and also, if something happens, we go back to this Caldwell construction.
Okay,
Upon acceptance of 25% deposit is required. Pat can't do that.
alright, so,
It's pretty standard, they ask.
Yeah.
If they wanna pay for the materials up front.
yeah.
Okay, I got down here, the security system has been installed. Did we find out anything about camera 9?
And I heard it's not working again today.
And what's the outcome? We gonna fix it? Is it not gonna be fixed, or we gonna?
Well, it'll be fixed, it's on again, off again, we'll have to come in and look at it. Ideally, I was hoping to have him come in and hopefully we had a resolution for the other thing, but I don't know if will you see him?
Did we get any kind of warning with these cameras? I mean, this is work, Aaron, tell me, like our camera going out every whip stitch are we good to?
Well, we've still got his check in the drawer.
I think this is the only one that's going over all.
We've only had one with an issue. And it's-
That's what I mean.
He'll back 'em
Is he
up.
still good? Okay.
Yeah, he'll come fix them.
You want me to hold the check or mail it?
No, go ahead and mail it, he'll come fix
Well,
it.
we'll just have him come down and fix it and hand him the check.
Yeah, that's true.
Save a stamp.
There you
Okay, so
go.
hold the check.
Yeah,
Okay.
tell him if you want paid, come fix this camera.
I'm just kidding, I mean, that's the way I would probably do it if we was doing,
That's what
fixing my home thing.
That's what I would do. We'll text him, I'll text him in the morning or mark him, we'll see when he can come look at it and just say, we'll just.
Maybe we can come up with a plan for this up at the stoplight too.
Right.
while it's here.
And while he's here, we'll talk about that.
I'd like to be on that, so in case.
I'd like for you to be on that, cause
That way, in case they're, you know,
Estimates on the sidewalk replacement,
25, he came in, $25 a square foot. A foot.
Linear foot or?
square foot, linear foot.
Ellie just said 8 foot. I said, did the writing. Sitting in close. He just said foot. I guess I should go more
Asking
specific.
what kind of foot.
Cubic?
Running,
Yeah,
no, it
that's
will either
true.
be running or square. If it's $25 a foot, you're paying for
Right.
$25 for that much concrete.
Three to 4 foot wide.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
don't say
Probably
how
square,
wide.
right.
It'd be kind of expensive, it's
You think?
Yeah.
Running foot would be a little pricey.
4 foot for 4
That'd
foot
be
section would be $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not.
How many square foots in 100 foot?
10 by 10's 100 square feet.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is if the sidewalks, are we getting 3 foot sidewalks or 4 foot sidewalks?
I think
See,
that's
that's-
4 foot.
That's one thing I have an issue with, is we need to spec this out.
And that's
Right.
what I
So they're
did, that's
uniform.
what I did, I spec'd
Right,
it
what did
out
you
at
spec yours out?
square feet, and that's what I told Brent.
Now, I mean, did you go 3 foot or 4 foot?
No, I went
Wide.
the side of the sidewalk, what the sidewalk was now,
What was it, 3 or 4?
is 3. But he told me, what he told me, or however wide that sidewalk is, he told me the price he'd do it per square foot, is what he told me. And he said if you want it 4 foot, if you want it 3 foot, however wide you want your sidewalk, this is what I'm gonna do it per square foot.
Yeah. Sidewalks are normally 4
So
foot.
if you got a 4 foot, if you got a 4 foot sidewalk, 4 foot times 100 foot equals, that's 400 square feet, is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds
400 square feet,
That sounds.
400 square feet.
You take it, multiply it times width times length.
So we're looking at 10,000. Am I right?
Yeah, that doesn't sound.
I know,
right.
that ain't,
That's
that
way
ain't,
too
that
much.
ain't right, yeah, that's way too much.
100, so in front of a house, that's about 100 and maybe 62 feet or so?
Yeah.
It counts on which way, obviously, which way you go. I mean, like you're down.
I didn't get his
you're
written
longer this
concrete
way than
estimate
you
because I
are.
told him we weren't gonna do anything till spring. That's why I told him we weren't gonna put sidewalks down till spring, so.
What's the stipulation on the grant? Is it?
This isn't the grant.
No, I'm talking about the grant. Is there a timeline on it or?
You can't put anything in the grant, not the one that we got coming.
No, I'm asking on the grant,
We
what's the
have to, I
timeline?
think we have to have it bid out by April.
April?
And then last time the completed date was like August, I think.
But we can't put any sidewalks on that grant.
Whoa, what?
You can't put any sidewalks on that grant.
Got that?
It wasn't written that way.
That grant is for street
The
only?
street and the ADA ramp,
And
that's
See, we
what,
talked about sidewalks and everything.
Not with that
not with
grant.
that grant you did it.
I'm pretty sure we did.
Nope, I know we did it.
ADA ramps was it.
ADA ramps and pavement was it.
Yeah. Yep, ADA ramps and that was it. That's what you guys said. That's what I've got.
So if you wanna do sidewalks, it'll have to be the next go around.
I'm tired
But
of
no.
sidewalks.
They can't be
Yeah, I hate
sidewalks
sidewalks.
because,
It can't be
Yeah.
sidewalks unless it's on the street that you're doing.
that's right.
So none of the streets that we're doing this year, we can put concrete on next year. The
Right.
concrete has to go on walks that we are on
Right.
streets that we do next year. But when we decided to go for this grant, we talked about it and you guys said.
Why did you got in an argument with me saying we couldn't do Water Street, and
Yeah.
Ken says, yes, we can,
No.
because they intersect. You and I had that conversation. And we
the
did sidewalks
intersection, but then Ken said with the concrete going across, we might be able to fudge it.
But now you're telling me no concrete.
No concrete.
So why was we having a conversation about putting sidewalks in? Exactly
There
what
you go.
you and I were talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's one thing. Why were we talking about? Why didn't you say we can't do any sidewalks?
Because I didn't know that until Ken told me that. And then I replied to you that it crosses, but we might be able to do it, but we can't, because what he was gonna do was, he didn't know Cumberland was gonna go. So that's where we were.
So are we allowed for the following year to do sidewalks with our street?
If you do on the streets that you pave,
Well, yeah, I realize that,
yeah.
but that's what I'm asking.
Water Street didn't get done.
Water Street didn't get done because we ran out of money.
Right.
When we bid it, we were overbid, so we said, okay, we gotta get underneath the money for this pavement, that's what we did, then we done the sidewalk, and that's how much we could do, so that's all we could do on Water Street. So Water Street's gonna have to come out of the sidewalk budget, and that's what we talked
And I was
about
told
5
the price
months
on
ago.
ADA ramps on the rest of the
Yes,
streets.
and
put
5
in
months
this
ago, when we
next
were doing the sidewalk up here on Main Street, we started talking about Water Street, and it's been 5 months.
Same amount of time that the sidewalk's been open, that's right. 5 months. So we'll look at it in the spring, and but I don't think we need to put any sidewalk down this time of year. I mean, we'll just try to finish what we started. And hopefully the state comes through and helps those poor people stop the water from running down our wall.
Okay, so sidewalks, you're going to table all further discussion to the spring, is that right?
Yep.
I would think so. Mark, what do you think? You wanna put more sidewalk down this year?
No, I'm done with sidewalks.
I'm good with tabling.
We've done more sidewalks than any board ever in this town, and we get our
I
butts
agree with
chewed
that.
because of it.
Yeah,
Well, the law changed.
right.
Well,
And
we've
the-
got enough ADA ramps to last us 30 years now.
She means the liability.
The sidewalks are now the town's liability. Before, we said if the homeowner wanted something done, it was up to the homeowner. But the courts, because of an ADA filing, they're now, and it was in the northern and southern both courts, that
So what
sidewalks
if, so
are the
if
municipalities.
do we have to replace the sidewalk?
Yes, it's up to the town.
We don't have to put in.
We don't have
That's
to
what
put
I'm
in new
saying.
ones.
We
We
can
don't
just
have to
put
put
in
in
grass
any new
seeds.
ones. We don't have to put in any
No.
new ones.
I don't
And
know.
if you remove them, you gotta put them back.
Well, and that's a valid question.
Right.
That's what I'm
Because-
saying, do we have to replace it?
I talked to the clerk treasurer in one of the towns, and I talked to that town because it was a small town like us. And she told me when the attorney for the plaintiff went in and walked that town, every place that there had even been, looked like there was a sidewalk, he said sidewalk. And they had to put sidewalks in everywhere, that he thought that there had been a sidewalk.
I'm gonna talk to our
I think that might
representatives
have
and
been.
I'll talk to them at the Lincoln Day, and I'm just gonna tell them that they need to lighten up on these small towns and give us more flexibility with the money.
Okay,
Right, yeah,
I'm going to.
okay.
I agree with that.
Governor's gonna be there.
I know it. I've already talked to him.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, next thing we
The
got,
representatives will be there too, so. I mean-
painting, they were at the deal with, none of ours was, but Kokomo's was. Painting of the curbs, Brent's already thanked Danny and Jerry for doing that. Cutting of the walnut tree at the Scout Building. Who's gonna ask for buyers?
I can go talk to somebody, I mean,
Brent is gonna ask for buyers for walnut tree. Brent's got the walnut tree.
people saying nuts anyway.
Okay, under miscellaneous, we got Halloween will be October 31st from 6 to 8 o'clock. Do
Is
we
that
have to make a
acceptable?
motion? Well,
Yes.
that's about what it's gotta be because the Lions Club and Masons and everybody's already having a party, so you need a motion?
Please.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we have an October Halloween from 6 to 8.
Second.
Brent second.
I'll second.
Veterans Program in the community building on November the 5th. And the Preservation Society Annual Christmas Bar is November the 25th.
And interested vendors should probably contact Deb Foreman.
Deb Foreman, interesting, Deb Foreman. Okay.
Who's our Middle Miss and, or whatever the town,
The
It's on the
foreman,
town's website.
yeah, the foreman girl got second runner-up. Jasmine got first runner-up, Jasmine Fenner, and
I can't remember names.
yeah, her name's Lydia Hensley, queen.
Rodney's daughter.
Yeah, Rodney's daughter, and I think her name's Lydia. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what it is.
If you go to townofcamden.org.
Was it well attended or, I don't?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
real
good.
well, yeah, real well.
Yeah, I thought it went well, and Deb went to a lot of work in a very little bit of time.
And there was,
She did
I mean, there was a bunch of people, I mean, a bunch of kids too, so. The boys could have used a few more boys, but the girls was well.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. There you go. Right here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Been long.
Any questions?
Good.
Bonus for.
I see Glendon Wolf coming, I know it's gonna be good extra half hour.
You ought to schedule better around here, man.
That's what he's talking about, but I don't know.